Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're getting into something I think, well, a lot of us feel. That kind of nagging sense that things are off. Gravely amiss, you might say. You look around domestically, globally, and it just feels like the world's deeply in trouble. And finding real solutions, it seems tough.
Yeah, it's a feeling this analysis we're looking at really taps into.
Yeah.
And the argument is this feeling, it comes from maybe a failure, a collective failure, to really own our responsibility for the planet, for civilization itself,
Right, like we spend so much energy trying to avoid trouble.
that we end up right in the middle of it.
Exactly. So our mission today isn't just to, complain about the problems. It's to actually dig into how some wisdom from the past.
And this is based on some really thought-provoking philosophical commentary.
Right, that commentary, combined with the hard look at where we are now, might actually show us a way forward.
Yeah.
We're looking at history, human nature, and, well, some pretty radical ideas.
And the hope is to give you, our listener, a bit of a shortcut here,
Yeah.
to maybe spark some of those aha moments.
Yeah.
And surface some concrete ideas about how things like integrity and education and just individual actions, how they're not just, nice thoughts, but maybe actual forces that
Sure.
could reshape things.
Okay, so let's start unpacking that. We're going way back to Plato first. His ideas on government, they still feel incredibly relevant. And it kind of boils down to this. Any system, doesn't matter what you call it, democracy, monarchy, whatever.
Right.
It'll work if it's run honestly. The key thing isn't the label, it's integrity. If you lack that,
Then no system works well. That's the core assertion. It's really strong.
yeah, and the conviction behind it is striking. This text we're exploring, it's pretty blunt. There is no possibility of making dishonesty a permanent virtue for the race.
It's presented almost like a law of nature, isn't it? Not
Yeah.
just an ideal, like this is how human systems function, period. Integrity isn't optional, it's the foundation.
And that idea, integrity, it connects directly to this ancient concept of citizenship that, honestly, it kind of blew my mind. It totally flips how we usually think about
Oh,
it.
yeah, definitely.
The analysis says you're not born a citizen because you happen to be physically born in that place. No, citizenship was about dedication.
That's the revelation, yeah. Think about, say, ancient Egypt in its higher periods.
Yep.
Citizenship wasn't automatic. It was a rite and a ritual.
A ritual. How so?
Well, typically young people, maybe 14, 15, 16, old enough to grasp the commitment involved.
Okay.
They'd go through this process, a commitment to the larger collective pattern, as the text puts it.
And it wasn't just saying some words. There was symbolism, too, right? Something about hair.
Yeah, exactly. The source mentions when they reached about 15 or 16, they had the child lock cut off their hair.
Huh.
It sounds small, but it marked this huge shift from being, innocent little children without sense enough to being someone who thinks about their duty to the world.
Wow. But it went beyond symbols, too, right? There was testing.
Oh, absolutely. Rigorous testing.
No.
Mentally, morally, emotionally, physically. Do you have the stamina, the integrity,
Mhm.
the self-control needed to be a citizen in a major world power?
So you had to actively proclaim your citizenship and then prove it.
Yes. Like, demonstrate you understand how the system works. Democracy, for instance, how it functions, why it functions, and crucially, what can destroy it. You had to know the risks, too.
So being a citizen was an honor, a real distinction, something earned and upheld.
Exactly. Earned through character. And that character had to be vouched for by the community, teachers, family, neighbors, everyone.
The analysis says point blank, people without principles and without integrity could not pass the examination.
And it didn't stop there. If you, as a citizen, did something corrupt later on,
Yeah.
you could be deprived of his citizenship, stripped of it. No second chances on that front, it seems. It was a continuous responsibility.
Okay, but what about people who didn't become citizens? Could they still live there?
Yes, that's the fascinating part. For us, maybe. They could live freely, work, raise a family, all that.
Wow.
But they would not vote on any issue of any kind. No say in laws, no part in government litigation, nothing related to governance.
That really makes you think, doesn't it? Imagine if, say, graduating high school was the point where you earned that right, that kind of dedicated citizenship.
It connects directly to the next point, really. If we want that kind of citizenship, we have to educate him for citizenship.
Educate for it. How early?
According to this view, right from the start. Kindergarten. Learning, basically, how to get along with other children. The absolute basics of social cooperation.
And then build on that.
Yeah, the idea is every year of his study would include at least one major field of government. From the get-go, kids learn how a country is governed.
Including the messy parts, the gingers.
Absolutely. The principles of democracy, its dangers, its advantages, its disadvantages, all of it. This isn't just about civics class. It's reframing education itself.
So the goal is, by 16, you have young people who actually get how government works
Yeah.
and how they fit in.
Exactly. A thorough knowledge, the source says, understanding how they can contribute, which is a world away from what the commentary calls the continual indifference at the polls now. It's about building civic responsibility from the ground up.
Which logically leads to, okay, who gets to lead? Who's qualified?
Right.
And the analysis really questions how we do that now, saying we often just know what candidates say about themselves, which is called an unreasonable way to pick leaders.
And this is where it gets really interesting. The proposal. A dedicated college or university of government.
Wow. Like a whole institution just for public service?
Exactly. A full curriculum, a career path. Just like, if you want to be a banker, you study banking.
Mm-hmm.
A lawyer, you go to law school.
So if you want to be in government, ambassador, mayor, senator, you go to this specific place.
That's the vision. To cultivate governmental personalities. To professionalize it.
Frame it like a business almost.
Basically big business, yeah. A well-regulated business organization run by trained persons in every field, with promotions based on merit, long-term careers, focused on integrity.
And this leads back to that key distinction.
The politician versus the statesman.
Yeah.
A politician serves his own purposes, a statesman serves his country. The whole point of this education would be to produce statesmen.
Okay, so if integrity is the foundation for government, for citizenship, what happens when we apply that to our biggest global challenges, like the environment?
Well, the source is pretty stark here. It says the planet is not big enough, strong enough, or powerful enough to handle constant competition.
Right.
Meaning, on a relatively small planet, there's just no room for competition if survival is the goal. We can't keep playing that game.
There's a powerful analogy used, isn't there? The alchemical bottle.
Yeah, that the Earth has finite resources in this closed system, and we're just wasting these resources every day, focusing only on the gratification of the present.
Is taking more than a day off of the life expectancy of the planet itself. Wow, that hits hard.
And the conclusion drawn is really direct. Waste is profit, but the profit of business is the loss of the world.
So you need an honest government, that integrity piece again, to even begin tackling this.
That's the argument. Without that commitment to the collective good over short-term gain, the needed changes just won't happen.
And then there's technology. The computer gets called out as the latest addition to the list of difficulties.
Right. Potential for good, sure. But the source leans towards it being more likely to be for the worst, if we're not careful.
Why? What's the big fear?
The risk of ultimate control. That through computers, complete control of the world could be ultimately vested in one or two persons.
Leading to complete tyranny.
Yeah. And the point is made, this isn't like historical dictators, Alexander or Napoleon. This power could come from a little instrument that sits on a table.
Which means we desperately need discretion, discrimination, and with integrity, guiding how we use these tools.
Absolutely. It puts the onus right back on human character.
And finally, the analysis goes right for the jugular, doesn't it? Money, the root of all evil.
It calls it a very delicate situation.
Right.
But yeah, it argues money is the primary root of all the other evils. That the drive for wealth or profit is behind so much cupidity and crime.
The problem being this whole profit system itself, living off interest on debt.
That's the critique, constantly trying to live off the interest on our debts. The core message. Money is a misery and a misfortune unless integrity administers it.
So the solution proposed is pretty radical.
Extremely. It suggests taking the lure of wealth and the temptation of wealth out of the human pattern. Just remove it.
What would that even look like?
The idea is money becomes purely a medium of change, not something you invest for profit.
Like the Moorish utopia example mentioned.
Right, where money wasn't needed because necessities belong to everyone. It's a fundamental challenge to our whole economic way of life.
Because the consequence of the current system, it argues, is we're slowly taking the life out of society to pay bills we shouldn't have created.
Exactly. We're consuming ourselves, in a way.
So where does this leave us? What's the path forward according to this? It seems to come back to character, doesn't it? And family.
Very much so. It suggests that a lot of the corruptions of our generations stem from a kind of desperate depression, a loss of hope, a loss of conviction.
And Confucius is brought in here.
Right. As goes the family, so goes the nation, and as so goes the nation, so goes the world. There's a real lament for lost family loyalty, for consideration, for the rise of infinite individualism.
Which leads to a race of neurotics, is the phrase used. Strong words.
Very strong. But then it turns towards empowerment. What can we do? You, me, the listener.
And the answer is actually quite personal.
Yeah. Make it a personal responsibility to contribute as little as possible to the mistakes of society.
Which means things like clean his own house, live with integrity day to day.
Keep out of debt, avoid corrupting influences like certain entertainment. These little things, the source argues, they add up. They can make up a great decision.
But it acknowledges this isn't easy, that being honest might actually hurt businesses built on dishonesty.
Oh, yeah. It warns that honesty is going to bring a lot of business to bankruptcy. But
it still has to be done.
right. It's presented as necessary, however difficult.
So the real solution isn't out there somewhere. It's in here.
That's the core idea. The material which can save it is a material in our own souls. The answers, the truths we need, are inside of ourselves.
And that connects back to education, but in a different way. Not cramming facts, but
Educe, to draw out. That's the root meaning, to bring forth your own moral personal convictions.
like those American Indian vigil rituals mentioned.
Exactly. Going out into nature, seeking purpose, asking, Father, show me the way. That connection provides, the text suggests, a new patriotism, a sense of working on something vital.
Which contrasts sharply with where we are now, feeling like we have lost our way in a maze of confusion and selfishness.
Forgetting those ancient principles. The Los Alamos example really drives it home, doesn't it? That stunning natural beauty right next to a man-made world of hate and fear.
Where we feared each other. Yeah, it's a powerful image.
So it seems to circle back. We need that integrity. We need that education that draws out inner truth.
And we need statesmen, not amateurs, running things, people properly trained for it.
Ultimately, it all comes down to cooperation, doesn't it? From the family level right up to the great big brotherhood of man. Survival depends on it.
So wrapping this up, we've journeyed through this idea that our troubles, maybe they're not just external. Maybe they stem from losing touch with integrity, misunderstanding citizenship, misusing our resources and tech.
Yeah, and the solutions proposed, while they seem huge, they actually start with the individual. With reclaiming integrity, with cooperation, and with the type of education that's about drawing out wisdom, not just pouring in data.
And the final thought this analysis leaves us with is pretty sobering. We have these potentials, these rights, these inner truths, but if we don't actively use them,
we're very, very likely to lose them all.
So the question for you, listening now, is what conviction, however small it seems, will you act on today in your own life, your own small circle, to start embodying the integrity needed to, well, build worlds and maybe, just maybe, inherit the earth in good condition?